Welcome to Sapdate number 3. It's Sean from Tree to Table over here. I'm in the bush right now. We've got a bunch of line work to do. We've got some vacuum leaks that we're going to be looking at. And then it is full-on sap seasons, and we have about 400, no more than that, about 4,000 liters of sap to boil off. So we're going to get at that, and you're going to see some footage of that. And with that, we're going to get right to it. We got a lot going on. It's going to be the next few days of boil, boil, boil. So let's get some line work done in the bush. What a beautiful day in the bush here. This is absolutely gorgeous on a day like today when the sun's shining. It's actually pretty dry out. Okay, so here we're at one of our junctions here. You can see there's a smaller line that goes into this larger line here. Now what we're looking for are bubbles that are shooting quickly. So first we go to this little line and we see if there are bubbles kind of shooting through the bottom of the U where my finger is there. And you can see there's no real shooting bubbles. Now I don't know if you can see right behind it in this blue tubing here. Hear that? There's water shooting and rushing by. It's hard to see because of the lighting, but whenever you see that, you know that this is further away from the sugar shack this way. So there's air coming into the system because this is a vacuumized system. There's air coming in somewhere upstream. So I can hear the air rushing through the pipes. So we're going to continue to walk upstream looking for leaks at either the saddles where the lines come in to this main line. Now, can you hear the hiss? So there's something leaking here, okay? And whenever you hear that kind of hiss, you know there's vacuum being lost because it's sucking in air and it's not pulling in sap. All right, so I'm gonna take a minute to take a look and investigate what's going on here, and we'll go from there. But here I am midway on the main line, and you can see this is our vacuum gauge. This is reading inches of mercury lifted in vacuum. That's how vacuum's rated, in inches of mercury. And so we're planning for this to be somewhere between 20 and 25 inches of vacuum. That's what that's reading. But we're nowhere near that. We're like what, somewhere 12 and a half, somewhere around there. Okay, well, I think we found our culprit. When we were tapping, someone obviously flagged us with orange tape. You can see there's a big gaping hole there where we're losing a whole lot of vacuum. That's gonna be a big one. Okay, so let me get my tools out and we'll get that taken care of. So this is another thing that we're looking for, okay? So there's the saddle where this line is going into the main line. There's just like a little saddle that goes on top there. And then see how this should be slow kind of moving bubbles, but it's not consistent and there's kind of air shooting through the system. And here's a classic sign of what we're looking for when we're looking for a leak. See the bubbles? Just kind of shooting down and through the pipe here. So that means this line goes out this way. Somewhere up that way on this lateral line, there's a leak. And if you look closely, somebody had put some tape on this, and that is not gonna stop a vacuum leak. So I'm gonna pull that tap off, pull the tape off, and actually replace the fix or the hole that's in the line there. Let's get to work. So that looks much better. I've just pulled that, cut off the end of the tube and put on a new tap. It's a very handy tool for that. I can do it mostly with one hand. Well, not quite. Well, I've been through the whole bush here and I fixed all the lines, all the holes that I could see. And I've inspected every saddle and pretty much every lateral line that I suspected had a leak. So I'm excited to get back to the sugar shack and see what the vacuum is there. And also to see what it's like midway in the bush. So let's saddle on and go take a look. we doing? Now that is much better. So we're reading 22 inches of mercury. That is pretty sweet for way out here in the bush. We're hundreds and hundreds of feet, maybe 1,500 feet from the sugar shack. So this is the back of the sugar shack, and I just got back from the bush fixing all the vacuum leaks in the bush. This is the extraction system. So all of the lines in the bush come down to this 1-inch main line, and then it comes into the extractor here. So this extractor vacuumizes the whole bush. Oh, we thought we'd check on the vacuum here. So we're at about 23 inches of vacuum here on the gauge up here at the sugar shack. And all the sap comes up through here into the extractor. It dumps into the sump pit here, and then it gets pumped up into these totes here. So currently, all 4 of these totes are full to the brim pretty much of sap from the last couple days of sap runs. Well, here we are. It's February 9 here at Tree to Table Maple Syrup, and I came out for the evening to get everything ready for the sugar season. We got the pans back on the evaporator, and I'll give you a little show of that. And we're just filling up the pans for the first time. So let's go inside the sugar shack here and just take a little look. So on the front, we've got a 2-foot square finishing pan, you can see. And on the back of the evaporator is a 2x6 foot drop flue pan, and it's a 7-inch drop flue with a float box to control the level of the sap. You can hear the vacuum pump humming in the background here. Yeah, here I've just got the first run of the season pouring into this back flue pan, and we're gonna fill it up probably about an inch and a half deep here. So there you have it. It's the filling the pans for the first time in 2024. Well, the trees must know it's maple season, because my goodness, it is running really well today. It is February 10, and we are finally ready here to pull off some syrup. It's a little bit over 7. We've been slacking and chatting here. But here we go. The first draw of 2024. So it's going to go through this filter pail here, and there's a hole in the bottom of the pail. There's a hole in that green lid, and then it flows down into the bottom pail for storage once this is done drying. So we're going to leave this valve open until it drops down probably to 6 there.
Little by little, piece by piece, I take back what's been stolen from me. Little by little, piece by piece, until I'm complete. Got my eyes on you, and you got no clue what I'm supposed to do. I can't help myself. Little by little, piece by piece, I take back what's been stolen from me.
My goodness, I've done so many draws in my life, but I gotta tell you, this just never gets old. Fresh syrup pouring out every time. It's a joy. Well, here we are at the end of day 2 of boil here at Tree to Table Sugar Shack, and I'm out behind the evaporator here, And you can see it's pretty quiet. The extractor is quiet. I've got it turned off. And you can see there's 4 totes there of sap. And when we had started here, there was, well, actually like 4.5 totes. And we're down to 2. We've emptied 2.5 here. So that has produced probably 1, 2, 3. There's 3 pails, 3. So we're at about 70 liters of syrup for this year so far. So we're doing pretty well for early in the season. And that's exciting to see. I'm gonna let this boil down probably another 10 minutes or so, turn the fan off, the blower fan to the fire, and call it quits for tonight. Well, here we are trying to get boiling again here at Treated Table Maple Syrup. And it's a brisky, cold morning out. I don't know, it's maybe, just looking at my watch here for the weather, it's about -7 degrees Celsius, which is it was a good cold freeze last night. And we're trying to get the sap flowing. We've got these big totes out back here with lots of sap in them. And you can see, we've got the heat lamp here trying to thaw out this valve because the water is not wanting to flow out. That's where our sap is stored, the last bit of it that we're trying to get boiled off today. So we're gonna try to get that melted enough to open the valve and get things flowing and get things thawed out inside the sugar shack so all the lines are flowing, because we can't really light a fire until we get sap flowing, otherwise we burn the evaporator pans. We definitely don't want to do that. So bear with me as things get thawed out here, and when we get fired up, you'll get to see us in action. We have got things thawed out. It took about half an hour, 45 minutes to get everything running and the water flowing, or I should say the sap flowing. But the steam is coming out the front of the sugar shack today. That's just the way the wind blows today. We don't have a steam hood or anything, but you can see it looks like it's on fire. Well, we're making lots of steam, that's for sure. It's hot.
It's very hot. Guys, who wants to go get some sap? It's completely...
Well, we managed to get everything boiled off today. We only had a bit to boil off, but as you can see, the snow started coming down, and I've got everything closed up here. It's looking like winter right now. But that'll be it for today. It's been good to boil, nice to get caught up on sap. And until next time, check out for now.